In today's video, we are going to talk about and explore some of the narcissist's most toxic and manipulative arguing strategies and techniques they utilize on you to win an argument, which essentially means to come away from the argument as the winner, the winning narrative of what the truth is. And I use that word very loosely. Arguments with narcissists and their motivation for having one are completely different from yours. That is the first thing that you must understand. We have arguments or disagreements as a tool to find honest resolutions, possibly even come to a compromise if necessary, and as a way for you and the other person to come to express and explore disagreements in an effort to fix the problem so that something like this doesn't happen again. Narcissists are not concerned about those things in the least. Narcissists look at arguments as a competition, and a competition that they need to win at all costs. So today we are going to explore and explain some of the top techniques they use to argue for only their interests to be accomplished. Truth, resolution, honesty, compromise, negotiations are usually what a person has in mind when they enter into an argument with another person they claim to love. However, these are not even in the same stratosphere of what a narcissist enters into an argument for. They enter into arguments to win, which means escaping any form of accountability, responsibility, or blame and putting it somewhere else. Arguments in the narcissist's mind are to be won, period. End of story. So today we're going to dive into the techniques they use to accomplish their goal of winning. If you are new to this channel, I'd like to take a moment and welcome you and invite you to please subscribe. And if you are interested in any of my services, private coaching or access to group coaching and daily support, please visit my link tree in the description located directly under this video. The new text messaging service that I started a couple of weeks ago is proving to be very beneficial to the subscribers and is a really affordable way to get daily support for your healing journey. So be sure and check out the Hey Daily text messaging link in the description below. So today we are talking about the top 5 most toxic and manipulative arguing techniques that narcissists use on others. So let's just dig right in. Number 1, and probably the most common one they use, is just outright gaslighting. What is the simplest definition of gaslighting? Gaslighting is a psychological abuse technique that toxic and narcissistic people use to manipulate your understanding of reality. And they are very, very good at it. So gaslighting in this situation may sound like, that never happened, I don't know what you're talking about. Or they may say, that never happened, didn't happen at all. Or they might say something like, your evidence doesn't prove anything. You sound ridiculous. Were you even there when this happened? These are all examples of how a narcissist might use gaslighting during an argument. And they say these things with such conviction, looking at us with just absolute bewilderment because we said what we said, that we actually entertain the idea that maybe we actually got it wrong. Maybe our understanding isn't accurate, even though we saw it and heard it at this event that provoked this argument with our own eyes and ears. They seem so convinced that we are wrong that we do indeed start to reconsider our conclusion and open ourselves up to the possibility that we are wrong. Our interpretation of what happened is wrong. This is gaslighting in its simplest form, an intentional act that creates confusion about our understanding of reality. Over time, a victim will come to rely on the narcissist's interpretation of reality over their own observations more and more. This is one of the reasons why we are so confused when we are trying to figure this out. We have literally had our understanding of reality completely manipulated into an untrue version of history. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is psychological abuse at its finest. Next, they will minimize your distress. They will try and make you feel as though your reaction to whatever the argument is over is completely out of proportion to what really happened. They want to make you feel like whatever happened is no big deal and no one else would ever have a problem with whatever issue you have, so as to convince you it's not what they did wrong that is bad, it's your reaction that's wrong and ultimately bad. It's not nearly as serious of an offense as you're making it out to be. They want to deflect the responsibility from what they did wrong to you being wrong and the truly responsible party because you blew things way out of proportion. And again, because they seem so convincing, it seems as though there is no doubt in their mind that this indeed is the facts to the argument we're having. That we again start to doubt ourselves. We believe at this point in time in the relationship that this person really loves us the way we love them. And we know we would never do something this devious and mean to them. We would never consider doing this to another human being. What we have to come to understand is that the person that we think we fell in love with is in reality a very dangerous con man or woman who does not have a functioning conscience. Not only do they not have any respect for you or the truth and doing the right thing, but they actually enjoy watching this technique actually work on you. This is tons of narcissistic supply, and if they manage to actually get you to fall for this provides them with days and days of narcissistic supply, which is always a part of why they do what they do. This makes them feel incredibly special and superior to you. Unfortunately, narcissists believe that doing something this deceitful and manipulative to another human being isn't something to be that they should feel horrified about, but rather it serves as proof to them that they are way better and superior to you. And victims must come to really know and believe this is what has happened to you, or healing will not be possible. Number 3, they blame shift, meaning they shift the blame, usually from themselves or whoever you are arguing with them about, onto you personally. And it is mind-blowing how typical this is of all narcissists and how much they use this technique. Really, really mind-blowing. Honestly, I can't hardly come up with one major fight I have ever had with my dad or my ex where this tactic wasn't blatantly used. Anytime you find yourself apologizing to a person that you are respectfully confronting about a specific incident that you believe is deserving of receiving an apology from them, yet you find yourself feeling guilty, feeling pity, and actually apologizing to them instead of receiving an apology, this is a huge blaring flag of a narcissist. Please hear me when I say this. When and if you find yourself in this situation, you need to take a step back and reevaluate the character of the person you are dealing with. Anytime someone's recollection of something you feel clearly was wrong of them to do, yet for whatever reason you are actually blamed for it by this person, and the responsibility for the problem is shifted onto you, and you experience feelings of guilt and feel the need to apologize, is something you must take a closer look at to determine if this person is a narcissist or not. When a narcissist uses this technique, it might sound like, I wouldn't have done that if you hadn't have pressured me all day long. Nobody can function when they are subjected to the kind of pressure from a person like you. Or they might say, that's just how I am. You can't expect me to be someone I'm not. That's not fair to me. Or they may say, that's not my fault. You wouldn't feel that way if your mom hadn't have influenced you. She always blames me for things I didn't do. Remember, narcissists always, without exception, will rewrite history into a narrative where they play one of 3 roles. They will portray themselves as the victim, the hero, or the martyr, or some combination of all 3. Never will you see them take full accountability for being the problem, the person who was truly responsible for whatever bad happened. They will always attempt to redirect the responsibility to a person or thing other than themselves, and usually this person will be you. Number 4, they utilize a technique called word salad. For any of you who are not familiar with or have not heard about word salad, do I have news for you. Narcissists are famous for utilizing word salad in an attempt to redirect the direction or the topic of conversations, especially if it looks like they are going to be outed and blamed for something bad that they are absolutely guilty of doing. They do this to confuse the person they are having the conversation with and to try and distract and deflect the content of the argument you are having into a direction that usually doesn't make any sense. But they are so smooth at this technique. It really is very effective, believe it or not. Word salad is a word and conversational, intentional manipulation technique used to distract, confuse, or deflect the content or topics of the conversation. It's called word salad because that's what it feels like. You are being attacked by this bizarre word gymnastics that make it hard to stay focused on the topic at hand. It also is very effective at just wearing the participant out, exhausting the person being subjected to this, so eventually you just give up. And as I mentioned, narcissists are famous for using this tactic, especially when we try to engage them in an argument that they do not want to have and know they will not win. Number 5, they will use something called leveling. If you confront them with indisputable proof, like receipts, photos, or text messages, that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are indeed the responsible party and there is no way for them to squirm their way out of this, they will start trying to level this situation, meaning they will use anything and everything you have done in your life that was bad against you in this moment in an effort to say that you are just as bad as they are. If the narcissist knows they cannot win in the traditional sense of the word, then they will try and convince you and everyone else that both of you are equally as bad, that you have done things that are just as bad as what they did, if not way worse. And trust me when I tell you, it doesn't matter how long ago said event happened. It doesn't matter if it really was insignificant compared to what they have done. They will create this narrative and embellish it as necessary to create a rewritten version of reality where you are just as guilty and horrible as they are. And you might be surprised how well this works against the typical target of a narcissist. Narcissists target people with high levels of empathy, responsibility, compassion, reliability, who take their integrity very seriously. So usually when someone with these character traits does something wrong where accountability is deserved, they will feel absolutely horrible about it. They will feel a million times worse than most other people would feel and tend to hold themselves accountable and blame themselves way more than what is currently deserved. Because of this, and because we tend to feel huge levels of empathy for other people, yes, even our abusers, this technique is really, really effective. This play has been made on me a million times. And as I said, it didn't matter if it took place 30 years ago. It doesn't matter what we did to rectify it, whatever we did in that moment. And it doesn't matter that the two events are nowhere close to being the same in significance. The narcissist will categorically and completely stand by this absurd comparison. Don't take the bait. I don't care what you are guilty of doing. If you are an empath and you are being compared to something someone did who has full-blown NPD or would be considered a malignant narcissist, I do not care what you did. There is no possibility that you and the narcissist are the same kind of people. Do not accept this as truth because it is not true. You must stay grounded in the reality you know in your heart is true. You are not the same as them, not in any single way. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on my other social media platforms. The links are in the description below this video. Thanks for watching, everyone.